You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show podcast on KPEL965.com.
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated and it can last a lifetime. Up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental disorder that requires a comprehensive approach to treatment. Learn more at moretoadhd.com. This message brought to you in partnership with ADA, ACO, and CHAD.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax Pros studios. Find them online at MatthewJamesTaxPros.com.
Ukraine's President Zelensky to meet President Biden at the White House today. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. He'll leave with another big weapons cache.
President Biden says he's directed the Defense Department to allocate all remaining Ukraine aid before his term ends in January. He is also authorizing more than $5 billion additional dollars already approved by Congress to support U.S. equipment for Ukraine and replenish stockpiles here. He's approving long-range strike capabilities for Ukraine and allowing more training for Ukrainian F-16 pilots. Zelensky is presenting President Biden with a peace plan today intended to end the war on Ukraine's terms.
Fox's Jared Halpern, an ominous response from Russia. The Kremlin says it's revised its rules for the use of nuclear weapons and says any country that helps Ukraine attack Russia will face consequences. Israel has launched more airstrikes today in Lebanon, including a missile strike in Beirut. The U.S. and several allies pushing for a 21-day ceasefire. President Biden saying,
"We're able to generate significant support from Europe as well as the Arab nations. It's important that war not widen."
Israel's foreign minister says there will not be a ceasefire. New York City's Mayor Eric Adams indicted by a federal grand jury probing whether the mayor accepted campaign contributions from Turkey in exchange for decisions benefiting the Turkish embassy in New York.
I will fight these injustices with every ounce of my strength and my spirit.
Mayor says he will not resign. Federal agents descending on his home at Gracie Mansion this morning to seize his cell phone. The government says its final update of the second quarter gross domestic product shows it grew at a solid annual 3% rate, about what the economists had expected. It is the last estimate before November's election. Wall Street opening higher, the Dow trading about 221 points higher. America is listening to Fox News.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
I opened a gold IRA with Noble Gold Investments. There's no better vote for your financial safety than precious metals. So Noble Gold Investments is giving away up to 10 1-ounce silver Trump coins or a 10-ounce silver American flag bar with a qualifying account this month. Just use promo code TRUMP. That's NobleGoldInvestments.com.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult.
It's time to win cash. Get your KPEL News apps ready because here's your chance to win up to $30,000. Just enter the following code into your KPEL News app where it says win cash and make sure you listen for more codes throughout the day because the more codes you enter, the better your chances. Here is your next code.
Your code is 127. 127 is your code for a chance to win cash with News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
RPG came through the belly of the aircraft. We don't talk about the female combat wounded. These are our daughters and our sisters and our mothers. Wounded Warrior Project came into my life and taught me how to stand back up and get back in the fight. The truth is, I think we all have this strength inside of us, but until you're tested, you just don't know it's there.
See how Wounded Warrior Project empowers women veterans like Beth by visiting woundedwarriorproject.org/empowerwomenvets.
Bikers Against Child Abuse empowers children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live. For more information, visit BACAworld.org. Our helpline is 866-885-9474. BACA, breaking the chains of abuse.
This hour of the Moon Griffon Show is brought to you by 1% Lists Acadiana. Call Shannon LeBlanc today at 337-522-0682. Save on fees, not on service.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hi, y'all. Welcome, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us on this Friday Eve. And we got beautiful weather. It was kind of nice to walk out there. It was cool and breezy. Whew, that was kind of nice about 5 o'clock this morning. Anyway, great to have you with us. 844-766-6607, Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. If you want to be part of the program, you can also email me, moon@moongriffon.com. And our friends in Florida bracing for a hurricane, which is just as common as getting up in the morning and using the restroom. It's just all part of what we do around the coast. I was reading, people were sending me stuff with CNN and people like that. I just can't deal with the human element of the hurricane. They can't deal. My fear is for people. My fear, that's it. They can't deal with that. They have to come up with almost all these articles driven by use of fossil fuels, global. I mean, we're talking about a storm that's going to directly hit a lot of people's lives and livelihoods that got to be rebuilt. We just saw one come through here. Thank God it wasn't that big, but it still hurt and wrecked a lot of stuff. And none of them's good. It's not a good hurricane. It's not a good tornado. None of that's good. I don't know why things like that happen, but they do. And they have always happened before we were here, and they're all going to happen when we're gone. So the politics of it just blows my mind. We got people in arm's way of a storm that could really hurt people. And we start telling people it's all because of fossil fuels. They always got to get their politics in it when it's really not necessary. What's the most, and that's why I like having Stephen Paul, my comments on. To him, he said, what's most important is getting information to people so people can make good decisions. Okay? But that's not what the left does. It's politics, politics, politics. Rahm Emanuel said, never let a crisis go to waste. That's the way the evil mind thinks. And that's the way evil media thinks. Okay? So what they like to do, I never forget, go back to Katrina. And you realize Rita was a bigger storm than Katrina. My friends in the Lake Charles, Cameron area and everything, every place Rita hit, I think Rita ended up going all the way to Shreveport. But everything about Katrina, because they made it about Katrina instead of Rita, because it was New Orleans. And they had a bunch of blacks sitting on the interstate. And George Bush, the white Republican president, was there. What did they do with that storm? It was all made political. 100% became the political storm. The hurricane hit Mississippi. The flood was in New Orleans because it's in a bowl. And all the politics run by Democrats all went to hell in a handbasket. People were flooded for no reason. And, Corps engineers, the local levee board. We go on and on. I'm not going to relive that. But my point being is, I never forget that hurricane because that became such a political hurricane that the left was going to use. And I'm going to say it again. I don't care if you're white, black, legal, illegal. I don't want anybody hurt when it comes to these hurricanes and storms. And all the weather people have to do for me is tell me honestly where it's going to hit and get out the way. I don't want to hear man-made global. I don't want to hear about fossil fuel. I'm not interested in that. Are we going to get people to move out the way in a storm and that where nobody gets hurt? Care about the human beings for once, for God's sakes, and everything's political. There's nothing political about a storm, except it's made political by the left always, always, always. And Rahm Emanuel said, every disaster, never let it go to waste. And so I guess they'll blame Ron DeSantis because a storm came through. It just doesn't make any sense. So somebody asked, have you been watching it? I said, no. I got up this morning. My little girl, Maddie, had the news. She watches the news. Sitting there putting my socks and shoes on after brushing my teeth, of course. I was able to watch a few seconds of it, whatever they covered, and I have not watched or read anything about it. One of the reasons I don't watch it is not because I don't care. It's because I don't like to watch the politics and everything. You can't do anything. You know what's good about going fishing? There's no politics out there when I'm fishing. It's me trying to fool a fish and bass trying to catch the fish. Okay? That's it. That's it. I don't have to listen to the left with their lies trying to bring a country down. I'm out there fishing, enjoying myself. It's kind of a peaceful way for me to get away. Somebody else may like pickleball. It doesn't matter. But I haven't watched it. And when it comes into Louisiana, I got more of an interest in it because, I don't know. I live here not too far from the coast, and, you got an interest. You know people. The Florida thing, I got an interest in the people being okay. I have no interest in the politics of the Weather Channel, CNN, MSNBC. Fox Weather is just as bad. Fox Weather is right on the money right there with them. And I don't know why they predict all this stuff. When they can tell people this is a dangerous hurricane, you need to get out of harm's way. But they're going to explain how the tides, people know about tides on the coast. That's what's so sad. The people on the coast know about the tides. They know what can happen. It's flat land. It's a big old ocean out there. You got a big storm driving it in there. What they try to do is scare the hell out of you. And that's me. You may have a different thing. People can watch that weather all day. I could never do that. That's the most boring thing you can do. And what makes you mad is when something doesn't happen they told you was going to happen, or vice versa. Oh, you're going to be okay. Like C.B. Ferguson did. He watched the meteorology. He watched the weather. When Katrina was coming, he went to Amy. Not going to hit them. Go out there, get away, enjoy themselves, and find out you can't go back home. Because why? I watched the meteorologist on TV who told me we ain't going to get that storm. Anyway, I just remember going back to Katrina. Katrina broke me with storms. And I think Rita was worse. They just had a lot more rural area, and this was a big city. And it became a minority and racist thing with Bush. And Mary Landrieu, if I could see President Bush, I'd slap him. Mary Landrieu caused so much havoc as being a United States Senator in this country. It's ridiculous what she's done in this country. She was the final vote on Obamacare, which is about to destroy our medical profession. And every other bad vote she made. She was one of the final votes, of the final vote when we will make English the official language of the United States of America. She voted against that. It was a one-vote deal. So, I just, I feel for these people. We need to pray for these people. I thought about this, too. Just think if everything was like the left one and everything was electric cars. How would you move these people? How would you move people in Louisiana to go by the foolishness of watching what they're doing to this country? You wouldn't. There would be people killed and How would you get back to people to help people get back up and building without electricity? You wouldn't. People would be in trouble. People would die. They would die trying to leave. They would die trying to come back. That's how stupid this movement is. I just thought, wow, what if you had all electric vehicles and they said it may hit, but they don't know where they're going to hit. And you're in a vehicle, you got to have a charge all night to make it run. Even if you had charging stations every 20 feet on the interstate, it wouldn't work. You couldn't move people. And how would you get back in there to help somebody? You couldn't. I don't know if y'all know this or not. This is my opinion, and it probably don't mean much. I've never seen water and electricity combined work real well. Have you? There's no reality in any of this stuff. And the politics of the left through the media, that's why they hate Donald Trump. Boy, he lambasted China. He knew what would happen at this border if we let it go. He knew it. And he knew that one of the biggest problems in this country was the mainstream media enemy of the states. And he called them that. He called them out. A lot of the stuff Trump called out, now they're out there in the open. They don't care anymore. He called them out. But we've had so many young people go through the university system buying into stuff that ain't true. All these universities that we got to keep funding, make sure we funding. And what they preaching and teaching. A lot of anti-America coming out of them universities. I know. If I got to run into one more buddy of mine that has kids that went through the universities, they're not even friends with their daddy anymore. Because they become such left. But when they believe in Jesus and God and church and family, go through 4 years or 5 years of college and come back, they don't believe in any of it anymore. Come nutted up professor they got to them. Anyway, I care about the people in Florida. I really do. And I pray we can get everybody moved and everybody out of harm's way and rebuild. I don't care about the politics of it. That's why I can't watch TV. You can't watch any of it anymore. It's incredible. All right, we got to take a break. 844-766-6607, Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. Take a break. Be right back. When you think about how you'll spend your money in retirement, what comes to mind? Probably travel, sunny beaches, and spoiling your grandchildren. But a recent survey found that over 30% of every dollar a retiree spends goes to taxes. Baby boomers were told for years to save money in their IRAs and 401ks and pay taxes later. Well, now that day has arrived, and boomers are shocked to see a third of their money going back to Uncle Sam. John Blanchard and the Matthew James Financial Group can help. What if you could protect all or most of your retirement wealth from future tax rate increases? Achieve a zero or near zero effective tax rate for most of your retirement years. Find out more. 337-366-8366. Isn't it time you got a second opinion on your wealth and retirement outlook? Learn how you could potentially kick the IRS out of your IRA. 337-366-8366 and online at MatthewJames.com.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. It's termite season. Did you know termites are responsible for over $1 billion worth of damage in Louisiana alone? For over 60 years, J&J Exterminating has been shielding homes and businesses. 100% guaranteed against termites, pests, and mosquitoes. Louisiana-owned, customer-focused. J&J Exterminating.
Call him today, make the pests go away. J&J Exterminating.
Get the shield.
Yeah. Folks, you heard us talking about Raging Cajun, the original Cajun seasoning, and Raging Cajun delicious line of gumbo, black-eyed peas, shrimp and grits, jambalaya, seafood bisque, etouffee, red beans, roux, jalapenos. Raging Cajun's products are made right here in Acadiana now. Thanks to all of y'all, Raging Cajun is one of the fastest growing brands in grocery stores. Raging Cajun, the original Cajun seasoning. Forget the rest, ask for the best. Ask them for that Raging Cajun. It's good, folks. Trust me. I love it. You will too.
Support local.
For many servicemen and women, the battle doesn't end when they come home. And I know, because I too struggle with the invisible wounds of service. Pups for Patriots and Sam literally changed my life. If you're a veteran or know a veteran struggling with post-traumatic stress or a traumatic brain injury, go to AmericanHumane.org to learn more about the Pups for Patriots Service Dog Program. Let's give our veterans a fighting chance.
A message from American Humane.
Hi, hello. Welcome back. It is the Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you. Tell a friend about us. We'd love for them to join us. Talk about issues of the day, state, national, whatever comes along, what I'm passionate about, we'll definitely talk about. Last thing I was just looking at, they showed a picture. Traffic on Interstate 10 of Hurricane Ida in August 28. All the cars piled up, and I thought, wow, the electric charge lasts 3 or 4 hours. I'm looking at thousands of vehicles as far as you can see. And I thought, I wonder where they're going to stop to charge up for the electric vehicle when they leave. And how does electric vehicles work in water? I bet that's really a pretty sight to see, huh? And just, I'm just looking at it right now going, wow, I guess you could put a charging station every 20 feet, but that wouldn't work because it takes you 30 minutes to an hour to get any kind of charge. That's what the media and everybody's telling us that we need to go to. That's right. You know, I keep forgetting, though, and I apologize. When we do go all this renewable and green stuff, there won't be no more hurricanes. There won't be no more tornadoes. There won't be no more forest fires. I want to show them how that works. There won't be no more floods. There won't be no more droughts. There won't be no more 90-degree weather. I keep forgetting if we do what they say, the results are going to be, it won't be hot anymore. No more floods. No more hurricanes. No more typhoons. No more tornadoes. All that's gone. I say, folks, you need to ask these people this. When all this takes place that they want, where are we going? I just think it's something that we ought to, I mean, like I said, I might have it wrong, but that's why I keep forgetting. If we do what they say, man, life would be great. Never have to work a day in our life. So anyway, that's probably what I'm missing out. But I just thought all these cars, look at that. And I'm just looking at that. I remember, I've told y'all this before, I remember one of the hurricanes we had a couple of years ago. And they evacuated everything, I think, in the New Orleans home area, and they came through here, and it was just, bumper to bumper. And the guy that interviewed this guy, he said he would, I want to say he came out of Blackman Parish, but he said, I've been on the road for 9 hours, said, all I need is gas, and I can't find it. I'm looking for it in Lafayette. I thought, 9 hours in an electric vehicle. How's that work? There's no thought process in this, folks. There's none whatsoever. So, but the politics is in it. By the way, another thing. So I read today, Senator Bill Cassidy says Louisiana getting $206 million federal funds, flood mitigation projects. Okay, more federal money, which is fine. Bill's bragging about it. I get it. What I'd like to know from Cassidy? I'd like to know who he's voting for president. I know the federal money is important. That's how we live here. I wonder who Cassidy, anybody running to Bill Cassidy, Psycho Bill, and ask him, who's he voting for president? I would ask him, but for some reason, all of a sudden, he won't come on my program. He came for 7 years. It's any time he wanted to come on a program. And all of a sudden, I don't hear from Bill anymore. I don't know why. I just was thinking about that. So I just thought, well, if he's going to come home and brag about the money, will somebody in the reporting world go, hey, Senator Cassidy, Garrett Graves is the other one. How's Garrett voting for the president? I mean, we know the former Representative Congressman Charles Boustany is fighting for Kamala. Oh, yeah, he's fighting for Kamala Harris as a great leader. Charles Boustany, Dr. Boustany, former congressman here, fighting hard for Harris to be the president. So you just kind of want to know. I give this to Boustany. Boustany's got the guts to step up and say who he's voting for. I mean, I give him that. He's got the gut. He's a swamper. He likes Marxists. And he's stepping up, counting on Kamala Harris and voting for Kamala Harris. I mean, that's Charles Boustany. But I'm just curious to how Psycho Bill's voting. How's Cassidy voting? I mean, I would like to know that all of our Republicans are behind Donald Trump. If they're not, they're for Harris. They're not voting at all, they're for Harris. They're voting for somebody else, they're for Harris. I'll give Bustani credit, the former congressman. He's all in on Harris. He loves Marxism. He loves socialism. So I admit that's what he's doing, but where's Bill Cassidy and Garrett Graves? Election's less than 40 days. Does anybody know how these people are voting? I mean, I don't have a problem telling y'all I'm voting for Trump. What about these great leaders who step to the mic every time they got a federal nickel that they can bring to the state of Louisiana? Now, Moon, that's their job. That's right. That's their job. I want to know who they're supporting for president. We need leadership on who to vote for president, too. And I just thought it'd be great to know what Bill Cassidy, somebody mentioned Billy Nungesser. I don't know. I ain't heard Billy Nungesser talk about Trump. Or Harris, for that matter. Be curious to see how he's voting. But Cassidy and Graves just kind of puzzle me a little bit. Ain't saying anything. I know how Scalise's voting. I know how Julia Letlow's voting. I know how Mike Johnson's voting. I know how Clay Higgins is voting. I know how John Kennedy's voting. I miss anybody? I know how Troy Carter's voting. Troy Carter is going to vote for Kamala Harris. Cleo Fields, when he gets in, well, it'll be already too late then. But Cleo Fields will vote for Kamala Harris. Curious about Cassidy and Garrett Graves. Don't y'all want to know? I'd like to know. I think it'd be interesting to know. We'll be right back. With 5 locations, I always make it a point to visit Superior Grill. I love the food there. It's authentic Mexican food with a Louisiana twist. That menu has all your favorites: nachos, quesadillas, enchiladas, tacos, fajitas, hand-cut steaks, and the best margaritas in the state. You go to Superior for lunch or dinner, and folks, you're going to thank me for it. My lovely bride and I eat at Superior Grill every chance we get. They're on Line Avenue in Shreveport, Government Street, and Holland Road in Baton Rouge, and they're on St. Charles Avenue in New Orleans. But look, their new location in Lafayette is now open. Lafayette, you've been clamoring for it, and now they are open on College Saloon. I want to see Superior Grill packed with folks from Acadiana. The best Mexican food with a Louisiana twist is found at Superior Grill. Shreveport, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans, and now Acadiana on College Saloon in Lafayette. This is Moon Griffon. I will see you at Superior Grill. This is Moon Griffon talking about another great Louisiana company, Hudco Roofing. Louisiana has some pretty crazy weather at times. Torrential rains, gusty winds, especially up north. Hail, and of course, hurricanes. You got to remember your roof protects everything. You and your family and most of your possessions. And that's where Hudco Roofing comes in. These folks aren't just your average roofers. They're the #1 roofing company in the state. Whether you need a repair or a brand new roof, Hudco Roofing has you covered. Hudco is a CertainTeed Select shingle master and takes every roof all the way down to the decking to make sure there's no hidden damages. Hudco Roofing is also a state certified installer of the Fortified Roofing System. And that's a big deal, especially during hurricane season. Hudco specializes in residential and commercial roofing systems and coatings. Anywhere in Louisiana, you can get a free roof inspection and quote from Hudco Roofing. So go to HudcoRoofing.com. This is Moon Griffon. I trust Hudco Roofing of Louisiana, and so can you.
If you've been injured,
I want to help more kids graduate from high school.
Help more families learn how to budget and save.
I want my neighbors to have access to health care.
Help create opportunities for everyone in your community. Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
This hour of the Moon Griffon Show is brought to you by 1% Lists Acadiana. Call Shannon LeBlanc today at 337-522-0682. Save on fees, not on service.
Hi, hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show, Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. If you want to be called a part of the program, 844-766-6607. You can always email me, moon@moongriffon.com. By the way, junk mail Julie Emerson's weighing her vote for president, she told me. Yes. I'm going to let you know how she's voting. She's still flipping a coin. I don't know if it's 4 out of 7. I'm joking, Julie. Julie wanted to let her know she was voting for Trump. Yeah, I know. You saying it. I'm saying it. All these other elected officials, you're talking about the country is at a crossroads of which direction we're going to go, freedom or hell. And all these elected officials ought to be coming out for Trump. I don't hear from any of them. I just kind of, you got a lot of them out there. I wish somebody would put the microphone in front of John Breaux. Oh, the legendary John Breaux. How's John Breaux voting? He voting for Kamala? I mean, I give James Carville credit. I think he's a nutted up fruitcake. But at least the nutted up fruitcake is taking his stands to vote for Kamala. Anything left to her, he would support her. But not Graves or Cassidy. So just, like I said, the whole country's at stake. Everybody ought to be coming out and taking sides because really it is a sides deal this time. By the way, some of you people missed it yesterday. I had a gentleman on here, Jason Isaac. But he's head of an oil and gas association. He fights all this crazy stuff with the Green New Deal. And I was sharing with him that we had, if you've been told by the press, we got all these hydrogen plants coming, one in North Louisiana, one in South Louisiana. Somebody even mentioned a third one. And I brought that up to him, and he told me again, he said, 100% waste of time, waste of money. So these hydrogen plants that I'm watching the media get all excited about, and even our Louisiana Economic Development, getting all excited about a nothing, a zero, something that probably won't happen. If it does, it's going to blow up. An example. Equinor drops plans to export blue hydrogen to Germany. They're way ahead of us on this stuff. And they ought to be. We ought to not even be in a ball game with them. Equinor has abandoned plans to export so-called blue hydrogen to Germany, citing growing expense and lack of demand. They agreed over 2 years ago to construct a complete supply chain for the decarbonized hydrogen, in a move we seen at the time as a clear step toward reducing harmful emissions. Now, 2 years ago, they made the promise. You notice the plants that they're talking about coming to Louisiana is like in 2028. In other words, it ain't never coming. But they got the headlines they want. However, the move to stop the project could be seen as a huge blow to those who see blue hydrogen as a convenient step toward decarbonization. So why are we building them in Louisiana again? Here's another one. GE Vernova announces staff cuts aim at wind turbine failure financial losses. The other day, a couple months ago, in the newspaper I read, first wind turbines are starting to show up on the port. I thought, oh, my God. Here's another one. Here's the dealing with hydrogen again. Shell. See, Shell and Exxon went all Green New Deal because of the money. Shell abandons planned Norway hydrogen project. You ready? Lack of demand. Sooner or later, folks, supply and demand is going to play into your system. Scrapping plans for a low-carbon hydrogen plant on offshore Norway due to a lack of demand. We haven't seen the market for blue hydrogen materialize and decided not to progress the project. Shell spokesman said. So they're not going to work. And yet Louisiana in the newspaper, it keeps writing about how we got these hydrogen plants coming. I'd be willing to take that bet. I'll take that bet. They never show up. If they show up, they're going to fail. I just keep reading, doing all this crazy stuff and wasting money if we want to. But see, we're not wasting the company's money. No. We're wasting our money. By the way, because they got weather channels on in my radio station today. Fox, time's running out to evacuate. Or if you had electric cars, your time would be over. So anyway, I just want to let you know when I read stuff about plants and stuff coming here. And I read this today. I was look, I'm not cutting the LED. Susan Bourgeois. As a matter of fact, I need to get on the program. I'm sure she's very intelligent, very smart. I'm sure she's capable of doing that job. I don't doubt any of that. I'm sure she's a super dog on it. She knows what she's doing. I don't doubt this. But when I read the story, they said, can Louisiana compete with Texas? And the answer is, hell no. If you don't change anything, you can't compete with Texas. The way we're set up, we can't compete with Texas. Now, I've had people do this to me before, and I'm going to get to Ms. Bourgeois. I had people tell me before, when I started my program in Monroe, and I've heard this before, you just need to be positive. You just need to be positive and sweet. And I heard a guy tell me one time in business, this is my favorite story. He got all on me one day. You need to be positive. We do it. You know, there's a lot of good things going on in here, Louisiana. But he went on and on and on. I'd see him, he'd tell me again. I'd see him, he'd tell me again. He almost was mad at me because of the way I do my program. And I try to do it. I do it the best Moon can do it. It might be the worst program in the world, but I do it the best I can do it. And I think sometimes you got to be tough to change things. If you don't change anything, why you expect different results? So this guy, and he's a friend. I consider him a friend. But he get on me pretty good. And he had a business here in the state of Louisiana. And he was telling me about all the tax incentives, and, man, it really is a friendly business. Blah, 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 blah. I moved over to Lafayette. I want to say this was 8 or 10 years ago. He approached me again. And he said, man, you were right about everything you were saying about business in Louisiana. He told me one time, but we would just talk positive and be positive. You got people out there, goody two-shoes, chamber types. Oh, we just be positive. Everybody talk positive, good things will happen. This is what he was telling me. It's the kind of stuff he was telling me. Great guy. I said, man, you can't live on somebody saying, oh, this is really good. We got a good business climate. Everybody will just tell somebody that and be positive and everything happens good. It's not how it happens. Let me ask y'all a question. If Coach Brian Kelly didn't coach and all he did was say, hey, guys, when we go play, we just going to be positive and everybody be happy, we'll win the football game. Don't get smoked. You got to take the positive and build on it, and the negatives, you got to change them. The reason you got a football coach say, son, the techniques we taught you, you're doing all wrong. We're going to reteach you the techniques. If you keep doing that, you're not going to play for us. That's not negative. That's teaching somebody how to do it right. We don't do it right here. So the answer to the question, can we compete with Texas, is hell no unless we change what we do. Can we compete with Texas, become a Tex hub? LED, new leader sees a way to do it. Susan Bourgeois, the new head of Louisiana Economic Development, says doing business here is easier than people think. Susan, if what you're saying, sugar, is true, if what you're saying is true, we ought to be kicking butt and taking names. But it's not true. And you going around telling everybody, whoopee, it's really good, it's easy to do business here, ain't gonna cut it. Anyway, I'll get to a few more comments she made, because the problem we got is our LED is bought into the Green New Deal too. I'll get to that in a minute. Let me take a break. I'm just saying it's easier to do business here than people think. Then why in the heck are we losing so many people? Why aren't businesses coming here? Is there something they're not telling people? We've done nothing to change that. When we get back, don't go nowhere. With the summer heat here, let's talk about your AC. You're looking for a reliable, locally owned company that you can trust? Call Adapt Concepts AC and Heating. They have been serving all of Acadiana, the surrounding area, and the Gulf of Mexico for over 6 years. For your home or business, Adapt Concepts AC and Heating has you covered with certified technicians specializing in everything from residential to large commercial HVAC systems available 24/7. These guys are focused on providing professional quality work and ensuring customer satisfaction every step of the way. way. You want the professionals? You want the best? This is them. Don't miss this summer special. 0% financing, up to $3,000 off qualifying high-efficiency equipment. Not only that, they will throw in a free 12-year part and labor warranty. That's right, 12 years part and labor. Wow. Don't you want to know more about them? Call them at 337-408-8202. That's 337-408-8202. Or go to the website, adap-ac.com. That's adap-ac.com. I've been telling you about Schumacher Homes for a long time. Now, for a limited time, you can choose from 5 different financing offers and pick one that works best for you. Whether you're an active duty, military, or veteran, you can take advantage of the exclusive VA construction loan offer. You can lock in 30-year fixed financing for as low as 3.875. How about that? Looking to stay in your home and start construction right away? A stay-in-your-home loan might be right for you. With this option, you can stay in your home during construction and not worry about moving twice. And for you first-time home buyers, we're not going to forget you. For a limited time, they're offering 30-year fixed financing as low as 3.875. Other financing offers include no-cost refinancing, conventional loans, and FHA construction loans. If you're thinking of building your dream custom home, there's no time like the present to start building. SchumacherHomes.com. SchumacherHomes.com. Let them build your dream home. They're building dream homes one at a time. Hey, folks, it's Moon Griffon. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607, Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. And, of course, you can always email me, moon@moongriffon.com, moon@moongriffon.com. So the article is, can Louisiana compete with Texas, become a tax hub? Susan Bourgeois, who's the new leader. And by the way, she's probably doing a good job. I wish her the best. I hope she does a great job. But saying doing business here is easier than people think. Then if that was the case, people would be booming here. That's not the case. So to ask a question, but you already have a sense of where these opportunities are. Yes, Louisiana has the energy opportunity. And it is ours to capitalize on and take advantage of it, and certainly not just traditional energy. Let me stop right there. Oil and gas. So it's not just they are being, our state and other states are being pushed in all this renewable craziness. Take federal money out of it, nobody's messing with it. So I don't like that because Jeff called it a hoax, and I think what we're doing now is we're looking at the money the federal government's sitting in a typical attitude in Louisiana is somebody's going to take the money. I want y'all to remember them blue hydrogen plants. Let's see how they get off the ground. She says, we will remain an oil and gas state, but there's also what I call the energy addition. Not just transition, but addition of more and more types of energy, and we are uniquely positioned to take advantage of all of them. Folks, I cringe when I read that. There's a global economic pressure driving this insistence on doing clean things. Oil and gas is clean. There's nothing anymore cleaner than natural gas. Nothing. When I hear people talk about clean and renewable, we bought into the lie. Just like this storm is being in it, I got to watch them say fossil fuels driving it. We buying into a lie, and that's all I'm telling them is this is crazy. But I understand what she's doing because people have convinced them federal money is going to make Louisiana great. If that was the case, we would be number one in the country, all the federal money we take. We wouldn't even, nobody close. Remember, Medicaid expansion is going to help everybody. We're still at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to health care. The bottom. But we took all the money, Moon. Shouldn't we be at the top? That's what I'm thinking we should be at. We should be at the top. But we're not. Oh, well, we're going to take the money for energy to go to this renewable stuff. Then we'll be at the top. No, we won't. No, we won't. Texas is going to find out first. They found out a couple years ago in an ice storm how bad using these renewables, how it hurt them. Now, they're still taking their money because it's billions of dollars flying around. Come on, Griffon. You got to be sick not to grab your share. When are energy rates going to come down with these renewables? They're not. When is inflation going to come down when we doing all this green stuff? It's not. I want to eat. I want my kids to eat. I want our families to eat. I want your families to eat. This is crazy, getting away from stuff that cheap food, cheap energy. None of this is bringing the cost of anything down. It's driving it up. Ms. Bourgeois says it's happening, will continue to happen regardless of who's in the White House. When you look around and see the Shells and Exxons, there they are. Shells and Exxons. Let's see. Let's grab a Shell story real quick. Shell abandons planned Norway hydrogen project on lack of demand. We're supposed to be building 2 hydrogen plants here. There it is, Shell. She mentioned Shell. There's Shell. Shell and Exxon have been pulling out of the renewables. Just like car manufacturing companies have been pulling out of EVs because they can't sell the things and they're too dang expensive. When you look around, see Shell and our Exxons of the world investing in both traditional energy and then nuclear. Well, they're investing in the new because the federal money's pouring in. They're not really investing in it. Cleaner, new, and cleanable renewables. That tells you there's room for both, and Louisiana's fundamental advantage that no one else has. Folks, sound like Bella was talking. All right, hey, I'm going to be proven right by 20 zillion miles. I'm going to be proven wrong by 20 zillion miles. I'll stick to my guns. Then they said, what are those advantages? First, we have, here you go, here's the next one. This is out of her mouth, not mine. First, we have carbon capture piece. Oh man, carbon capture. That's a job-creating maneuver. That carbon capture does nothing. We better off everybody walking outside at night, putting our vacuum cleaners on the front porch and let them vacuum for a while. It's just crazy is what they're doing. Carbon capture piece. That's a nothing burger. That is an absolute nothing burger. See what I'm saying? I mean, I don't understand people. I just don't understand what she's talking about here. I know what she's talking about, though. Moon, the federal money, and everybody's buying into it because your dumb self won't do it. We're going to buy into it. Okay. Don't listen to the guy on the radio. I wouldn't either. I keep doing it. Do Louisiana way like we always done Louisiana way. She said, we have the rocks, rules, and movement. We have the perfect geology for sequestration. That rocks. Okay. We have promises or the rules, the right to approve our own wells. We also have pipeline infrastructure in place, which enables the move. Let me ask you a question. We have a right to approve our own wells. If the federal government is sending the money, do you really think we have the right to approve our own wells? If the federal government says, no, you're not going to do that. We're going to go, okay. You just keep sending, please just keep sending the money, just like they did with COVID in hospitals. We'll do whatever you say. Wear a mask, 6 foot, 27 foot, just keep people at home. Please just keep sending the money. We'll do whatever you want us to do. We'll put masks on people the rest of their lives. If the federal government, listen to me, this is when I laugh because I've heard oil and gas people say this. We have the right to approve our own wells. And the federal government's sending money. Do you really think? Do you really believe we have the right to do that? It's and by the way, I wish her the best. Like I said, I'm sure she's really smart, and she's working under the governor. Talking about entirely new approach to attracting business and industry. The Green New Deal is not a new approach. I think it's a dumb approach. I do not think we're going to get nearly what people think we're going to get out of it. When's the energy prices going to come down? Matter of fact, I got an article right here. Louisiana's poorest might see higher energy costs from natural gas business deal. You know? It's I'm not worried about the lady. I think she's probably a really smart lady. I think she's doing what she's told to do. Carbon capture. It's economic development. Folks, that. Except for construction of the crazy things they construct, there's no jobs related to that. There's no real long-term jobs related to this. I'm reading here. She mentioned Shell and Exxon, and I'm looking at Shell saying, well, we're getting out the hydrogen business. And Louisiana, we're pouring into the hydrogen business. They sitting there telling you there's no demand for this. They got gas prices are down because people are not doing the business they were doing, but they wanted them artificially up and down, and they want them down now because we got an election. And it makes all the other stuff look like it's cheap. If you can jam the price of food and energy up and oil and gas, it makes what they're saying look good. But you know who pays for all this? You and me. You see, I want to know when they're going to tell me when our energy costs are going to go down. It's like I want to know when our insurance costs is going to go down. I just would be careful running around claiming how great it is here. And the last two, Wallet Hub and the U.S. News and World Report, ranked us dead last in economy. Dead last. And you're going around telling people, oh, it's easy to do business here. Well, go tell them that. Because nationally, when people read this stuff, they're not seeing what she's seeing. I wish her the best. I hope she is sitting on the most successful Louisiana that we've ever been. But it won't be with the Green New Deal. That, I promise you. News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax Pro Studio.
Probing the first Trump assassination trial, I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. The House Select Task Force on the July 13th shooting of the former president, holding its first public hearing, taking testimony from local police and a retired Secret Service agent. Patrick Sullivan told the hearing it's a manpower issue.
Agents are exhausted now. The campaign really takes a lot out of them. And I think they don't have enough resources. Secret Service does not have enough personnel and resources to give people the break they need.
Yesterday, the Senate Homeland Security Committee issued its interim report on the shooting, citing multiple failures by the Secret Service. Former President Trump says he'll return to the site of the shooting in Butler, Pennsylvania for a rally a week from Saturday. Hurricane Helene, now a Category 2 storm and still growing, expected to make landfall early this evening near Florida's Big Bend region.
It's going to be a huge system, 400 to 500 miles wide, so it's going to impact much of the Sunshine State and well inland.
Fox senior meteorologist Janice Dean says at landfall, the storm could be at or near Category 4 strength, with a storm surge as high as 20 feet. Some flooding and wind damage already reported along Florida's Gulf Coast. New York City's Mayor Eric Adams, indicted in a federal corruption probe, defiantly says he'll not resign.
I know I am innocent. I will request an immediate trials so the New Yorkers can hear the truth.
The indictment charges the mayor with bribery, wire fraud, soliciting and accepting illegal foreign campaign contributions. In the last reading before the presidential election, the government reporting the country's gross domestic product, its output of goods and services, rose in the second quarter this year to an annualized rate of 3%, about what economists had expected. And the Labor Department says new unemployment claims last week reached a 4-month low. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, if you're in the market for a rifle, a shotgun, or a revolver, you definitely want to go with the best in the business. And as far as I'm concerned, that's only one place, Henry Repeating Arms. You're going to be amazed by the quality craftsmanship, the buttery smooth action. It makes them a pleasure to shoot. Every one of my Henrys, accurate right out of the box. They've all been reliable ever since. Now, the best way to learn about Henry's 200 models, just go to their website. It's one word, henryusa.com. You'll get a free catalog. They'll send you free decals, a list of dealers where you are, and they have a great newsletter as well. And they showcase their Made in America firearms. Henrys are backed by a lifetime warranty, 100% satisfaction, made in America, not made at all. That simple. And if you have questions, you can call their award-winning customer service department. Speak with an expert that will help you. Make sure you go to henryusa.com, get your free catalog, free decals, a list of dealers where you are. henryusa.com, a great American.
It's time to win cash. Get your KPEL News apps ready because here's your chance to win up to $30,000. Just enter the following code into your KPEL News app where it says win cash, and make sure you listen for more codes throughout the day because the more codes you enter, the better your chances. Here is your next code.
And that code, your code for 10 o'clock is 171. 171 is your code for your chance to win cash with News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Hi, I'm Marcel Spears. Keeping our global neighborhood safe is a tough job, made easier by America's brave military dogs. These dogs keep our troops safe by sniffing out bombs and IEDs and locating enemy positions. Yet when these canine heroes retire, they're too often left overseas. American Humane works to bring these valiant dogs home and reunites them with their handlers for happy, healthy retirements. To learn how you can help, visit AmericanHumane.org.
Court-appointed special advocates, or CASA, are specially trained volunteers that help secure safe homes for abused and neglected children. Don't let these innocent victims slip through the cracks of our complicated legal system. Get involved today. Call CASA at 268-5111. This nonprofit organization moment brought to you by News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hello, welcome back. It is great to be with you on a beautiful Thursday, Friday Eve, as we like to say, praying for our friends in Florida, if that's where the hurricane is going to hit. I wish that cold front would take the top off of it, but they're acting like that's not going to happen. But, I wish it would. I wish it could take it up and blow it up. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Pray for I'm just worried about people. All construction, homes, buildings, all that can be replaced. People can't be replaced. That's what can't be replaced. That's why I worry about human beings, not the politics of a storm. And they always make them political. Anyway, 844-766-6607 is the number if you'd like to be part of the program. You know, as we follow this presidential race. And, folks, you know, we start voting. October 1st, I think, is Tuesday. So we got about 3 weeks, a little bit over 3 weeks, we start voting, if you look at early voting for the presidential race. And it's incredible. You know, there's going to be a vice presidential debate coming up. And the guy that Vance has to go against is this Governor Walz. Now, he is a communist. He claims he really is. Walz state education appointee calls for the U.S. to be overthrown and deconstructed. Now, this is the guy he picked for the state education. He was appointed by Walz. Brian Lazinski said in a video that the United States, as constructed, is irreversibly racist. So if the nation state, as constructed, is irreversibly racist, it must be overthrown. That sounds like Barack Obama. He wanted to change everything. This guy, you got to remember when you elect the president and you elect the vice president of the United States, if anything happens to the president, becomes president. This guy's an PhD associate professor, urban and multicultural education study department at Malacasta College in St. Paul, Minnesota, according to personal blog. Once again, educator. Pointed to the State Department of Education by Walz to help write the framework of ethnic studies standards. First reported on the National Review podcast YouTube, June 19, 2022, by Solidarity Network. Lizinski spoke out about his research with the panel. He even touched on critical race theory, a school of thought that generally focuses on how power structures and institutions affected racial minorities. The video was removed from YouTube late Wednesday evening. Why? They don't want nobody to see who these people really are. You know, that's the thing about it. Donald Trump is dodging bullets. Kamala Harris is dodging questions. Now, who would you want to be president? Anyway, this shows you what kind of decisions Waltz makes. I'm just saying, it shows you everything Waltz makes. Now, I got a friend of mine sent this to me. This is an FBI informant. And I want y'all to listen to this, because this right here will make you wake up. This is an FBI informant at a congressional hearing. And they allow him to say and speak and say what he wants to say. It's only, what is it, a minute and a half maybe, Walker? 2 minutes? Okay. I'm going to play the whole thing because I want you to hear, I might have to play it twice for you, but I want you to hear his words with all this stuff going on with the Justice Department. And one of the Republicans stand up, all this stuff going on with the Justice Department. They're talking about how bad Trump is, how bad Trump's going to be, how bad Trump's going to use. And these people are using the Justice Department against people today, including Donald Trump. Okay? So he starts off, and then listen to what this FBI informant had to say. Listen to this.
And everybody in the minority party, they're fearing what Donald Trump would do in the next administration while they sit here and they look at the guy who's been persecuted by the FBI. And everybody in the room understands it. Mr. Allen, do you have comments you wish to make? I'll give you about a minute and a half, and then I want to turn the rest of my time to Mr. Jordan.
Yes, sir. I would just say that I consider the hearing today my last act of service as a public servant for the United States of America. And I'll give you my professional opinion. I was an intel professional for our country for many years, and I would give recommendations, and I'd also look at indications and warnings. So I would offer this to the American people as my warning to them. Since this is a warning to the American people, I say, I personally have no confidence that the FBI will rein in its own conduct. I've been persecuted along with Garrett, Steve and Kyle, and countless other whistleblowers. It is my opinion that the Bureau used reprisal and fear to control the workforce. It has been a seemingly effective tactic. I personally believe that there are no current effective checks and balances against them conducting lawless action with any type of correction in a legitimate time frame. I welcome the work of the IG, but I think any type of lawless action, there's no legitimate time frame to rein them back in. Their ability to overclassify information can allow them to stonewall forever. To the American people, you have a duty as a citizen to vote, and I strongly urge you to do so. It's how you participate in the American experience. I know people have doubts about election integrity, but you must vote. It is your claim. Stake your claim and don't forfeit it willingly. Have your voice heard. My other recommendations are in the natural order. First, vote. The second is the Second Amendment. Arm yourself and know how to defend yourself. Make 3 to 4 friends in your neighborhood and promise to come to each other's mutual aid in times of hardship. And during the Great Depression, people stocked up a pantry. So I think that's a good practice, especially in our economic times, and make sure you have 3 to 4 months of food. And as a person of faith, I'd say pray the rosary, go to the First Friday devotions. That's for everybody, all my brothers and sisters of all faiths, and I know I'm Catholic, and read the gospel of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and live it every day. And that's all I have to say. Thank you for the time.
You know, Mr. Allen, the fact that there are servants like you who have borne up under persecution that a lot of political leaders in this country do not care about is the thing that heartens the American people, and I'm confident the American people will resolve the situation.
Yeah, and you could, big thing about this guy, he's doing his last duty with the FBI. He's doing his last duty. His voice was cracking. You listen to that. He was quaking, and he was just like, I'm telling y'all, get ready for something. Is that not scary in the United States of America? Go vote. Make sure your guns are ready and you protect yourself. Go get some friends. Make sure you can protect each other. And make sure you have food for 3 or 4 months. Now, this is a guy on the inside watching what's going on. And I got to tell you, I went through that a couple, 3 times. I kind of went, what is the message here? I mean, what is the message that guy's saying? And it's right by the Republican, the congressman. A senator jumped up and said, they're attacking Trump and saying what all Trump's going to do to America to get rid of the democracy, yet it's the Biden, Harris, Obama, this regime that's in charge of everything. They're the ones causing all this. Them along with their fellow leftist Democrats, and I guess that's why Charles Bustani maybe endorsed them. I mean, this right here, I mean, I listen to that food, 3 to 4 months. I probably got enough food for 2 months. Got plenty of guns and bullets. I'm going to vote. I'm going to play it one more time. I walk if we can. I just want to, I tell you what, hold on a second. We'll play it coming back to the next break. Just get it ready. Folks, can y'all tell me what message that Scott was putting out? I mean, it didn't sound like a guy. This is his last act in the position he's in that he's not in anymore. And by the way, this is the guy that's been persecuted by Biden, Harris, DOJ. Because the left's never liked that we have a constitutional republic. They don't. They want a democracy. They want a full-out democracy. Look what they did at the border. They don't care about laws. Kamala Harris doesn't care about a dang law out there. She doesn't care about any of the Constitution. Obama didn't either. When Obama was running, he talked about the Constitution tells us what we can do, but don't tell us what we can. I mean, that right there just opened up my eyes, although my eyes really didn't need to be open anymore. You know? It's, to me, it's kind of earth-shattering, man, when you think about that. This guy's sitting there, and the guy said that before, y'all after Donald Trump, but look what y'all doing to people. Look what they did to Trump. Trump had 4 years to do that to people. He didn't even go after Hillary Clinton. He didn't go after anybody. If you look at his 4 years, tell me who he went after. Nobody. The Democrats have been on him for 9 years. They'll go after him again. They'll go after him again. They'll go after anybody gets in the way with their agenda. That's what communism is all about, Marxism. That's what these people do. You get mad at me for saying it. All right, listen to them. That ain't happening here. Really? Look at these informants. People like this, they just they cause them hell. And they keep saying Trump's going to do that. Always be careful. But people are talking about somebody else doing something, they may be doing it themselves. So anyway, I'm going to play one more time, then we'll move on. But I got that, and I thought, wow, that's kind of earth-shattering. Go vote. Make sure you got plenty of guns and bullets. Team up with some people to make sure you can protect yourselves, and make sure you got food for 3 or 4 months because of the Great Depression. And I talk about the debt. Chucky Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and Republicans, too, just rolling that debt train, baby. Rolling that debt train like nothing can happen. Nothing in the United States is being done by an accident. Everything's on purpose. Remember the great words of Satan's brother himself, Obama. We want to fundamentally transform America. This is what they mean. We got to take a break. 844-766-6607. It is a Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. More to come. We'll be right back. Oh, Shucks, you've been hearing me brag about Shucks. Been going there for many, many years. Shucks does a great job. If you like seafood, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. I'm telling you right now, there's shrimp, there's oysters, there's fish, all fresh every day right off the boat. So if you want something fresh and you want fresh seafood, you got to go to Shucks. Don't forget, if you're having a party, call Shucks. Let them cater the event for you. Or you can go pick it up. Shucks, they're waiting on you. If you want a great time and you want great food, you got to go to Shucks in Abbeville. Shucks, oh, they're good.
The biggest complaint about solar power is the battery storage. Well, no more. Now, Solar Louisiana offers giant battery storage solutions from the top names like Panasonic, LG, and more. Solar Louisiana will install residential home solar systems with enough battery storage to get you through any outages. And say goodbye to your electric bill, as Solar Louisiana will custom fit a system to your electrical needs. Online at solarlouisiana.net. Your energy independence company, Solar Louisiana.
If you've got some projects to do around the house and you need the voice of experience, of local voice, somebody that can help you and knows Louisiana, you need to check out Stein Home & Yard. They're a Louisiana company, founded, established here. They've been based here. Their story dates back all the way to 1946. Stein Home & Yard has all the things you need to make your house ready for fall. Great deals on fall plants like mums, as well as all sorts of handy items you need for your house. Need to upgrade your power tool game? They've got great deals on DeWalt power tools. They also have great deals on grills for your next tailgate for the big game this weekend. Traeger pellet grills, Weber grills, Charbroil, so many great brands, and it's all right there at your fingertips. Just pull them up, steinhome.com. Steinhome.com is where you need to go to find the greatest deals on your home improvement needs. Steinhome.com, a great Louisiana company.
Everywhere you turn.
I heard the call to serve, so I answered. I earned a title and discovered my purpose. I found belonging, an unbreakable bond with my fellow Marines. We fought to overcome adversity together in defense of our nation and its people. I've lived a full life, rich with meaning. And even though I no longer wear the uniform, I am still a Marine. My service has come full circle. I will always look after those around me. I will always uplift and support my country and my community. Because that is the promise I made. That is what it means to be a Marine. Semper Fidelis. Always faithful, always Marine.
Atlas Foundation Repair, 800-256-1010. Louisiana-owned Atlas Foundation Repair, 800-256-1010. Call Tony Arpino. I have known him for years. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. 844-766-6607. Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. I got some state stuff I want to talk about. Louisiana law could trigger automatic tax cuts. Ooh, for the people to get back some of their money, and they can't have that. And also the tax plan. What is going to be the tax reform plan? And will it be reform if you just shift stuff around? I gotta go over some of this because I'm just reading what's coming out of the mouths of some of the elected officials. They're worried about a trigger kicking in. They're worried about you and me getting some money back and the state losing some. I never worry about that. Man, when people can get money back in their pocket from the state of Louisiana, I don't care what the state of Louisiana. I've decided I'm sick of hearing about the state of Louisiana and their money woes and how much money they need. And I know good and well, you people, we make up Louisiana, not the damn government. We do. It's like a church. People make up the church. Anyway, one more time I'll play this. Like I said, FBI informant, FBI guy that turned informant, now done, finishing his job. And this is a congressional hearing, and we're hearing about all these lies from the left, and Trump's going to get rid of our democracy, which we're not anyway. Representative Republic is what we are. Just go do your Pledge of Allegiance and tell me how much democracy's in that. Anyway, I want to play this again because this is the guy sending out a warning from a guy who's worked in government, the FBI, and understands what's going on, I think it's a warning for you and me more than anything else. Here we go.
And everybody in the minority party, they're fearing what Donald Trump would do in the next administration while they sit here and they look at the guy who's been persecuted by the FBI. And everybody in the room understands it. Mr. Allen, do you have comments you wish to make? I'll give you about a minute and a half, and then I want to turn the rest of my time to Mr. Jordan.
Yes, sir. I would just say that I consider the hearing today my last act of service as a public servant for the United States of America. And I'll give you my professional opinion. I was an intel professional for our country for many years, and I would give recommendations, and I'd also look at indications and warnings. So I would offer this to the American people as my warning to them. Since this is a warning to the American people, I say, I personally have no confidence that the FBI will rein in its own conduct. I've been persecuted along with Garrett, Steve and Kyle, and countless other whistleblowers. It is my opinion that the Bureau used reprisal and fear to control the workforce. It has been a seemingly effective tactic. I personally believe that there are no current effective checks and balances against them conducting lawless action with any type of correction in a legitimate time frame. I welcome the work of the IG, but I think any type of lawless action, there's no legitimate time frame to rein them back in. Their ability to overclassify information can allow them to stonewall forever. To the American people, you have a duty as a citizen to vote, and I strongly urge you to do so. It's how you participate in the American experience. I know people have doubts about election integrity, but you must vote. It is your claim. Stake your claim and don't forfeit it willingly. Have your voice heard. My other recommendations are in the natural order. First, vote. The second is the Second Amendment. Arm yourself and know how to defend yourself. Make 3 to 4 friends in your neighborhood and promise to come to each other's mutual aid in times of hardship. And during the Great Depression, people stocked up a pantry. So I think that's a good practice, especially in our economic times, and make sure you have 3 to 4 months of food. And as a person of faith, I'd say pray the rosary, go to the First Friday devotions. That's for everybody, all my brothers and sisters of all faiths, and I know I'm Catholic, and read the gospel of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and live it every day. And that's all I have to say. Thank you for the time.
You know, Mr. Allen, the fact that there are servants like you who have borne up under persecution that a lot of political leaders in this country do not care about is the thing that heartens the American people, and I'm confident the American people will resolve the situation.
And I can promise y'all, these politicians don't give a damn about you and me. They don't. And this guy right here, whistleblower, is real simple. Somebody that saw what was going on, saw how many lies were coming out of the propaganda mouths of the people that were in charge of, and they reported them. And then they get in trouble for telling the truth. Lie, steal, cheat on your wife. You can be president of the United States. Tell the truth, and you're a no-account piece of dog, piece of trash. That's what the media's been doing. That's what the media's been doing in this election. That's what they've been doing with Trump for 9 years. And Trump ain't perfect. Trump's made mistakes. Trump's brought some stuff on himself, but nothing like they're doing to him. And they talking about Trump using up. Trump didn't do none of this. And as far as putting up food, worry about the economic times, he sees what's going on. The Harris-Biden administration, who don't care how much you got to pay. They don't care what you got to pay. We'll be right back.
My husband and I were invited to a 50th wedding anniversary. I noticed this little lady, and she was basically sitting alone. Her daughter turned to me just as I came over to introduce myself, and she said, "My mother has Alzheimer's." She had not said her daughter's name in 2 years. She didn't recognize her. I said, "Listen, we might be able to help her." And about 3 weeks later, they show up. We gave her 5 days of treatment. This lady, each day got a little better and a little better. She started flirting with the guys. She was so cute. My friend said, "You're smiling a lot." And she said, "They make those here." The next day, says out loud, "Martha, would you get me a cup of coffee, please?" Her daughter, Martha, breaks down crying because her mother hadn't said her name in 2 years.
Learn more about treatment for Alzheimer's at SpringfieldWellnessCenter.com. Springfield Wellness Center.
I've been bragging about Dino Hardwoods for a long time. My good friend Charles Altman, they do an excellent job. And if you're looking for unique or hard-to-find hardwood lumber, plywood, and molding, it's Dino Hardwoods. That's where you need to go. DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com. Trust Dino Hardwoods for all your hardwood lumber and cypress needs. With the holiday season fast approaching, as you know, a timeless handmade gift using quality lumber by Dino just means more. With 3 great locations to serve you now, Broussard, Louisiana, Shreveport, Louisiana, and now he's expanded in Tyler, Texas. Folks, there's something for every discerning woodworker at Dino. Go to DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com, and check out the unique and hard-to-find hardwood, lumber, plywood, and molding that you can't just find anywhere. Charles Altman, trust me, is not a better man in the business. He knows what he's doing, and he wants to service you. DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com.
Do you crave? This hour brought to you by the Matthew James Tax Pros. Find them online at MatthewJamesTaxPros.com.
Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Matthew James, Business Tax Reduction Hotline, 844-766-6607. By the way, I was reading, I've been following this too, all these gangs that have started in these big cities. And I saw a headline, Chicago braces for violent turf wars between black gangs and the Venezuelan migrants. That would be illegals. And I'm pulling for the black gangs. I'm pulling for our guys. I'm pulling for our guys to keep, that's America. That's Kamala Harris and Obama and them. This is what they want. That's what I'm telling you. They didn't fix none of this when they were in charge. It got worse, matter of fact. So I'm pulling for the brothers. I'm pulling for the black gangs over the Venezuelan migrants, and I hope they can hang in there and win this victory for us. Maybe they'll go back home. Escalating conflict as violent Venezuela gangs move into the city. So I don't know about y'all, but I'm pulling for the home team. Just not sad. We're sitting here knowing they gangs. We don't do anything about it. That's Kamala Harris's way. Don't do anything about it. Let people go back on the streets. Tyrone Muhammad, an ex-con and former gang member, issued a stark warning. When the black gangs here get fed up with the illegals and criminal activities of these migrants or non-citizens, city of Chicago is going to go up in flames. Growing frustration of many residents predicted it'll be blacks against migrants, no blacks against illegals. I'm pulling for our team. This warning's coming. Chicago sees Venezuela gangs, particularly TDA. That's that one, what is it, Tran de Araga? Or whatever you saw it. They call them TDA now. Staking out turf in neighborhoods that has been long controlled by black gangs. Ain't that nice? You know they're there. We just let them take over. But on election day, they all come together to vote for Democrats. But the border crises continue to spiral out of control. Who's that spiral out of control under? Harris. I can't believe Arizona, Nevada, all these places they even play. I can't believe any states would play for this woman. With the border crisis, thousands of migrants, illegals, flooding U.S. cities, bringing with them not just desperation, but in some cases criminal elements. That was let through, never vetted by Harris Biden. She was the border czar. I mean, I can't believe how stupid people can buy into. You gotta hate Trump. You gotta hate Trump. Since 2022, influx of illegals. Chicago has absorbed 48 illegals, most of whom hail from Venezuela. I guess they're going to start defending Venezuela like the Haitians now. Influx is overwhelming shelters and displaced local residents. Home prices skyrocket. I mean, folks, nobody that loves their country would do what they're doing. And this is being done by the Democrats. You ain't getting these people out of here is what's sad. Now, if you start arresting people and shipping them out of here and don't let them back, that's different. I'm talking about gang members and stuff. The TDA gang is taking over turf in Chicago, intensifying tensions in local groups. They have reputation of violence, extortion, human trafficking, making them formidable and dangerous presence. Criminal records unchecked. U.S. officials have no access to criminal backgrounds of Venezuela's illegals because we said, come on in. They let prisoners go and everything else. Folks, just that issue. Trump was so far. Just think if Trump could have won a second term and the elected officials had cooperated with him. For 8 years, we'd have had the border built. We wouldn't have all this. But we have it because we have a party that's become so evil, party of filth, party of hate. This is what they want. None of this is accidental. The country does not share such records. It leaves law enforcement blind to the potential criminal histories of those entering the country. Now, we had law enforcement, a big law enforcement group endorse Trump the other day. One endorsed Kamala Harris. Law enforcement endorsing Kamala Harris is as nutted up as anything I could think of. Aurora, Colorado. You know, the media doesn't cover this because it's an election, but let me tell you something. If Donald Trump wins, they'll put this on the front page. What are you doing about the problem that they caused? Because the media won't go cover it. God, every time I see this, every time I see a rape of 11 and 12-year-old child from one of these illegals, I'm talking about illegals, not legals. It just breaks my heart. But yet we got a party. For God's sakes, we got a party that's pushing this stuff. Anyways, I'm just unbelievable. Anyway, had to be blaming Trump for that too. So I'm minding my own business like I normally do and reading. I came across this. Louisiana law could trigger automatic tax cuts, worsening the looming budget shortfall. Megan Friedman. Friedman or Friedman, however you say it. Louisiana lawmakers are preparing for fiscal fallout from a 2021 Louisiana law which could trigger automatic tax rate cuts next year that would widen an anticipated budget shortfall the state is already expected to face. And see, what this would do is a trigger to give you and me a tax break. And we're going to hit the triggers. And what's the first thing the devil's advocate pounces on? Government's going to have less. The state government's going to have, I don't care anymore. Don't come crying to me about state government having less. I don't care if they got a lot less. I want you and me to have more. So there's a trigger. This was on this tax break cut. By the way, I was against it, if y'all recall. That we put in place, but they said the triggers would kick in. Well, they had some triggers that were supposed to kick in last year, and Blank Page Cortez and them got rid of them. Backed by Governor Landry, Secretary of Revenue Richard Nelson pushing for a session so the state can flatten the personal income tax and make other tax law changes. Under current law, automatic income and corporate franchise tax rate cuts can occur if tax, fee, and license collections hit a certain threshold for the state. So in other words, they get more money in. They're going to kick some of it back to us. And now all of a sudden the devil's advocate and everybody's upset that we're going to get a tax break. If the cut is triggered, personal income tax and corporate franchise tax rates would decrease. Good. You get to keep more of your money, folks. The extent of the cut would depend upon how much revenue increase. It doesn't matter. The revenue's increasing. They wanted to keep increasing even more. They said if this triggers hit in, we're going to get $100 to $200 million tax cut, but that's not the way they look at it. They look at it budget shortfall. Instead of the state, you know, when the state picked off our tax cut, the Trump tax cut, I was real upset about that. And the reason I was upset about it because I thought, you know, we need our money too. Julie Emerson, junk mail Julie's, told him the cut won't take effect to 2026. My God, folks, that's another year and 3 months 4 months, whatever it is. The gap could be lessened if the state opts not to renew temporary teacher stipend and other education-related spending. So we got a chance to get a tax break. When they started taking in more money than they were anticipating, and we got to a level we would get a tax break. Guess what? They don't want us to have the tax break now. Remember when they sold all that and they said, we got these triggers. I don't like triggers. I don't like them at all. Because every time we get to triggers, they won't do it. We got to a trigger last year, and Blank Page Cortez and Shake Snyder shut that puppy down. We would have got a break then. Now we got a chance to get another break. I'll come back and share the rest of the story with you. We got a chance to get a break. We got a chance to get a tax cut. But guess what? Government is more important than you and me feeding our families. That's the way I read it. Let's take a break. 844-766-6607 is the number. We'll take a break. Be right back. Nestled in gently rolling hills in North Louisiana is a place that produces the finest Louisiana wines around, Landry Vineyards. This place is phenomenal. Not only are they passionate about growing wine grapes and making Landry Vineyards wine, they also have cottages and RV sites you can rent, tours, and live music on Saturdays and tastings Monday through Saturday. Available in over 650 stores throughout Louisiana, I encourage you to visit and try Landry wine direct from Landry Vineyards. This is another great Louisiana company that has my full support, and they're Louisiana certified. A red blend they labeled Bayoutage, Blackberry Merlot, Cabs, Rosé, Petite Syrah, dry and sweet whites, and many, many other wines. Learn more about their wines and their vineyard online at LandryVineyards.com. This is Moon Griffon. My lovely bride and I love the wines from this great Louisiana company, Landry Vineyards, and so will you. Go visit their beautiful winery and find them in your local grocery store. If they don't have Landry Vineyards wine, ask and ask again. LandryVineyards.com. Woo, good wine right here.
It started with direct messages. That's how they got to my son. Gavin was just 17 and looking forward to college. He was contacted by online predators pretending to be a teenage girl. He was the victim of sexual extortion. In less than 2 hours after that first message, Gavin died by suicide. It's a pain I don't want any other parent to feel. Social media is causing an epidemic of bullying, anxiety, and depression, and it's leaving kids vulnerable to the kind of predators that targeted my son. We have to hold big tech accountable and pass the Kids Online Safety Act. I couldn't protect my son, but now it's my mission to make sure all kids are protected. I'm a father and a proud conservative, and I'm here to tell Speaker Johnson, pass the Kids Online Safety Act, because nothing is more important than protecting our kids.
Paid for by Issue One Action, which is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. IssueOneAction.org.
Hey, folks, if you're...
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hi, you all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. All right, so there's a chance for some triggers to kick in. I think would be a great thing. Daniel Erspaum and them, we talked about this when they were doing some stuff on the taxes. They let the triggers kick in. And we had triggers to kick in last time, but it was stopped by Blank Page Cortez and Shakes. Now, all that money, we would have had a break last year. They stopped it. They didn't want nothing to do with the break, and neither did Bill Edwards. They don't want you to have money. They want them and their friends to have money. So we got a trigger that's going to kick, man. And what is the first thing that the Devil's Advocate does in their headlines? Louisiana could trigger automatic tax, worsening the looming budget shortfall. That's if you only worry about government. Look, if we don't just worry about government, hell, raise double taxes. Just double the hell out. Don't worry what people think. But they got to go back and do elections. So if lawmakers hold a session, they may consider proposal acts to trigger laws and decide on Nelson's proposal revamps of the tax code, both of which could encounter political resistance. If lawmakers hold a session, they may consider I would consider that. I don't think they ought to take that trigger away. You put it in there. That's amazing. We do that in Louisiana. We change the laws. There's a trigger to give income tax breaks to us. It's getting ready to happen. We're not going to get the break to 2026. I mean, gee, who thought of that? And so all of a sudden now they want them to come in there and knock it down. They need to leave the trigger there. Leave it alone. Let us get some money back. We need our money to pay for all the money that's coming to the Green New Deal, all the money being printed. Department of Revenue has pitched the tax overhaul as a way to solve. This is the thing, and I'll take some calls. Department of Revenue has pitched the tax overhaul as a way to solve the state's looming financial problems. Here we go. Richard Nelson, like Richard. Richard's been here. I'm sure he's going to come back. Department of Revenue pitched the tax overhaul as a way to solve the state's looming financial problems. What about ours? Why? See, everything is around solving the problems for government. It is not helping us keep more what we earn, what we make. And when I saw that, red flags go up. Okay, so the tax reform by Richard Nelson is going to be that government has plenty and government doesn't go without. How would you read this, folks? Let me read it real slow. Department of Revenue has pitched the tax overhaul as a way to solve the state's looming financial problems. Does that help businesses? Does that help people? I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. Looks like to me we worried about one thing: state. Could care less about your family. That's what it looks like to me. If I'm wrong, please explain it to me. All right, let's go to Jack. Oh, Jack's gone. All right. Somebody help me out here because I'm reading it again. Department of Revenue has pitched the tax overhaul as a way to solve the state's looming financial problem. What about your financial problem? What about you folks that can't afford food? What about the people in the middle class who can't afford food or buy a new car? I'm just asking. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say the tax overhaul is to help businesses grow. It doesn't say the tax overhaul is to help me and you have more of our money. It says state's looming financial problems. Let me tell you something. If you don't fix the spending side, and I've said this for 31 years, if you don't fix the spending side, you're never going to fix it on the revenue side. If you get $1, you spend $1.10. If you get $1,000, you spend $1,100. You get $1 million, you spend $1.1 million. You get $1 billion, you spend $1.1 billion. You see what I'm saying? It's a problem. Keep spending. We have such a spending problem and nobody wants to address it. So when I thought, well, we do a tax overhaul, I'm thinking, good. We're going to get these jobs rolling in here. We get businesses booming. People are making more money here. This is the this is what I was thinking. But our administration is continue to work on a tax reform plan that will address the short-term deficit and make Louisiana one of the top state job creations and investment. The only way to permanently solve Louisiana's fiscal challenge. Lead agency spokesperson said, I agree with that. You can't solve the problem. See, this is why I made up yesterday. You know, you got 100 people paying taxes at 10%. It's $10. You got 200 people, and you're growing, paying 10%. That's $20. That's twice as much revenue. Why? Because you've grown. More people are paying it. You don't have to increase it. You're getting more money. That's how people are doing it. That's how Ronald Reagan did it. But when Ronald Reagan did it, Ronald Reagan cut the business taxes, skyrocket revenue, skyrocket the amount of money that went to government. But what did they do? Spend it all and some, and ran up deficits. I'm just saying that's how you do it. It's so simple. You get more people here. You grow businesses. And I'll say again, government should be the caboose, not the engine. The reason, follow me, the reason Wallet Hub and the U.S. News Report or whatever it was rated us last in economy and opportunity, we got the government caboose in front of the train. We got the engine that drives the train, the economic development, in the very back. We're trying to push the caboose up the hill. Our caboose needs to be in the back. I got a caboose. It's in my back. It's the last thing. Never mind, let me not get too deep. I'm just saying, we're trying to put the caboose at the front. Tax reform putting the caboose and state government at the front is not going to help economic development. It's absolutely 100% impossible. Nobody understands this. And if they understand it, they don't know how to fix it. But all we worry about, I'm just reading, government. That's a newspaper writer writing this. Could have it all backwards and wrong. I get it. Let's take a phone call. Let's go to Norman real quick. Norman, go.
Boy, Moon, calm down a little bit, bud. When all this started this morning, I saw the local news, and they get, higher education is in a crisis. We need more money. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking about it from the standpoint of right reason. The social contract between a citizen and his government is you'll fix my roads, you'll protect me from this, that, and the other, take care of the lighthouses and whatsoever. Now, there's a number. If there's 1 million people in the country, that much money goes to take care of everything that needs to be done. Now, if people are leaving the state, by the way, they said, we got to have more money so that we can have high-paying jobs in Louisiana. Well, if people are leaving, if the population is declining, we should need least money. You said that more than once. And I'll give you an example. I don't have any children, but I have a niece and a nephew. One of them is in Houston and bought a house, ain't coming back to Louisiana. The other is in New Orleans. I hope he can survive. So every dollar that we spent for higher education since I graduated, when it was a lot cheaper, has been lost. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Ask them what are you going to do about that, But
let me tell you something, Norman. I have said it. We got less students here, less people here, and then we want the cost of everything. We want to keep spending what we were spending and even more. It doesn't work that way. That's all I'm saying. So when I'm reading stuff like this, we got to fix the government finances. And I'm thinking, what about everybody else's finances with the high inflation? I mean, we only worried about government, and government we doing a post-COVID budget, and we ought to be doing a pre-COVID budget. That's what we ought to be doing. And by the way, the university's got a lot less students. Well, that means you got less money. That means you need less. You need less people to work in them, not more or less. Unbelievable. Yep. All right, got to run. Thanks for the call. I'm just saying, I didn't get to finish it, but may try to finish it in the third hour. But I'm just saying that I'm reading this, just shaking my head, going, well, we're going with all this. But it sounds like to me we're more worried about government than God, family, and country. Seems like to me. All right. Must be a lot of people making money off government is all I can tell you. We'll be right back.
For the absolute best in local Cajun food, check out Prejean's in their 2 locations in Carencro and Broussard today.
Looking for uncommon talent? Meet the Grads of Life. They're not the typical candidates you're used to, but they're exactly who your company needs. An ideal fit for entry-level positions, internships, and even mentorships. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn more. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station. Broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax Pro Studio.
This is a Fox News alert. Charges unsealed against the New York City mayor. I'm Lisa Brady. Mayor Eric Adams indicted on multiple corruption counts, accused of taking bribes and illegal campaign contributions from foreign sources.
Federal investigators say they found evidence that Adams, for nearly a decade, brokered his power by seeking and accepting improper, valuable benefits such as luxury international travel, including from wealthy foreign business people, and at least one Turkish government official seeking to gain influence over Adams.
Fox's C.B. Cotton, other top city officials have recently resigned in what are believed to be separate investigations. The mayor just telling reporters he's not surprised by the charges.
And I ask New Yorkers to wait to hear our defense before making any judgments.
In a video statement released earlier, vowing to fight what he calls injustices, suggesting he's been targeted for criticizing Biden immigration policies. At the first hearing of a bipartisan task force on the first Trump assassination attempt, the commander for Butler County, Pennsylvania Emergency Services says they weren't briefed on intelligence about an Iran assassination plot. Former Secret Service agent Patrick Sullivan telling lawmakers he thinks that would have been a game changer for security planning.
The current situation with the Secret Service not being mandated to have information provided to it is a problem.
The Secret Service has said it's cooperating with multiple ongoing investigations. Forecasters say Hurricane Helene could be a Category 4 storm when it likely hits northwest Florida tonight.
Every minute that goes by brings us closer to having conditions that are going to be simply too dangerous to navigate.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis urging people to finish storm prep and heed any evacuation orders. The worst of the storm's surge could hit 20 feet along Florida's Panhandle coast. America is listening to Fox News.
If you're looking for a firearm, I just love and recommend highly Henry Repeating Arms. They make 200 models of rifles, shotguns, revolvers, and a wide variety of calibers and finishes. Plus, they have new releases all throughout the year. The best way to learn about Henry Firearms is to get their free catalog and check it out online or at home. Plus, you're going to get 2 free decals and a list of dealers where you live and a great newsletter. Go to henryusa.com, click on their free catalog button. It's in the upper right-hand corner. Henry uses old world craftsmanship combined with cutting-edge technology to deliver reliability and accuracy that everybody can trust. They're easy to use and maintain. It makes them an excellent choice for personal and property defense, for hunting, for shooting sports, and for beginners. All made in America, or they won't be made at all. Remember, to order their free catalog, get free decals, henryusa.com. That's henryusa.com. Free catalog and decals and a list of dealers where you are. You're going to love this company.
U.S. Defense Chief Lloyd Austin urging Israel and Hezbollah to accept a 21-day ceasefire, avoiding an all-out war and allowing time for diplomacy to reach a durable arrangement.
That will allow Israeli and Lebanese civilians to return safely to their homes.
Israeli airstrikes on Hezbollah continue today. Meantime, Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas urging the UN to stop the war in Gaza. Ukraine's president visits the White House today, holding separate meetings with President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris, expected to lay out a victory plan in the fight against Russia. President Biden already announcing billions more in military assistance for Ukraine. Harris will also be part of a White House event on gun violence as the president directs federal agencies to improve school-based drills.
An executive order announced today directs the Secretaries of Education and Homeland Security to develop and publish research for school-based active shooter drills, including a summary of existing research and how to conduct effective and age-appropriate drills for students. In a statement, administration officials say despite the ubiquity of active shooter drills at schools, there is very limited research on how to design and deploy them. The executive order also aims to crack down on machine gun conversion devices illegally made with 3D printers. Federal officials say between 2017 and 2021, more than 540 of those devices were recovered. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
A man convicted in the 1992 killing of a convenience store owner in Oklahoma has just been executed by lethal injection, despite a recommendation from the state parole board to spare his life. During video testimony last month, 52-year-old Emmanuel Littlejohn apologized to the victim's family, but denied firing the fatal shot. A co-defendant got life in prison. The U.S. economy growing at 3% in the second quarter. The Dow's up 238. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.